Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want, and today we're going to be going through more fat acceptance cringe compilations. I like these, you like these, and we all love cringe. So let's just get into this. The first video is things I'm scared of as a big girl. I've had bad experiences with this one. I'm assuming they're saying the particular type of chair, but this is kind of a problem in my opinion. You know, to actually fear chairs, or, you know, be concerned about sitting in a chair, I feel like at that point you should just lose some weight. It's not to belittle anyone and say like, oh, you don't look good, or oh, you know, like everything's wrong with you, there's something morally wrong with you, and that's why we don't like it when you know, are overweight or anything like that. But if you actually can't sit in a chair without having a fucking panic attack, I'd say at that point you should reconsider your life choices. The whole table has to move. Now, I've actually worked in restaurants where people have broken the tables by being so morbidly obese and pressing themselves against the non-movable table when they're in a, like, booth setting. It's ridiculous. I've only seen it once, but I've seen it, and yeah, it's not pretty, man. And again, like, it's super embarrassing. I can't imagine how one can justify to themselves that they're in an okay physical form if they're, like, breaking tables or they can't fit into booth seating. It takes some serious, like, overweightness or a very big human being to find that they just cannot fit in specific spaces like this, especially public ones that are meant to take in all kinds of people. It'll take me 5 hours to get out, and it's like a foam pit. At first I thought this was a ball pit. Now, I hate ball pits because they're incredibly dirty, and usually some kid has had a code brown in one at one point or another. But you know what? When it comes to the foam pits, they're horrifying. Like, they're actually scary, like, to get out of and find that you can't get out of very easily, but they're great for doing little air flips into. So you know what? I gotta say, like, this one's kind of, like, understandable. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be particularly inclined to, like, swim through a foam pit. It's kind of annoying. When people think you're fat because you wear baggy clothes. What? When people think you're fat because you wear baggy clothes. You know what? This is actually something that baggy clothes tend to do. When you're a normal weight, they tend to make you look kind of shapeless, kind of fat. When you're fat, they make you look fatter, and when you're skinny, they make you look skinnier. I'm the kind of person at any weight that will wear baggy clothes, so I kind of understand this. But you know what? If people think that you're fat exclusively because of the clothing you wear, that's kind of ridiculous. I don't really think many people think that. At the end of the day, if you're morbidly obese, people can see that you're morbidly obese. They can see it in your face, your walk, your hands, your arms, your legs, everything. It's not like just a little bit of extra puppy fat or something that tends to look a little bigger in a sweater. Like, I think a lot of us have been there before. But when it comes to being, like, severely over or underweight, people can see it. They can literally see it no matter what you're wearing, dude. Yeah, this person's, like, morbidly obese. I just don't understand. Yeah, you're fat because of the baggy clothes you wear, but also, it doesn't even matter. This is the problem that I have. It's like all these excuses and cabooses to show off your caboose. Or I don't even know what the point is. I can't even tell anymore with half of these TikToks.
I'm realizing as a fat person who's, like, trying to be honest about, everything, that I think there's some things fat people have to cope with, actually. And one of the things I'm sort of working through right now is the way that some people who are important to me see me. Like, some of the ways that people look at me or talk to me, what they choose to talk to me about, make it so obvious that they don't just look at me and see Kateri. They don't just look at me and see a coworker, a friend, family member. They see Kateri who's fat. My fat coworker, my fat friend, my fat daughter. Ooh, that one caught me off guard, but it's true.
What is the context of this? Like, if they don't give an example, I hope they give an example, because if they don't give one, then it just sounds like you're insecure and you're, like, looking at your own self-image as being fat and you think everybody just associates me on the basis of my weight more than my character. If you don't actually give an example here and it's a generalization, I would suspect this is an insecurity. Saying that, this person's main distracting points are not the fact that they're fat, it's their glasses. I'm just saying, okay? Her voice? I know I've heard this voice before. Her voice has definite ASMR artist vibes. like that last video that we were going through, except it's less nightmarish, and her glasses have librarian. I could see her being very quiet with a book in her hand, but that's about it. I don't really see this woman on the basis of her weight, other than the fact that she's in one of these fat acceptance cringe compilations, but the fact that she's talking about her weight seems a little bit insecure about her weight from my perception, and then also the fact that she's wearing glasses and whatever. Those are the main distracting points. But the fact that she's like talking about her weight and the fact that she's on a fat acceptance like cringe compilation thing, that's kind of like the main associations with weight.
I don't know. It's just sad that these people that I like a lot and love a lot, like, don't just see me as a person. I'm always a fat person.
Again, like, she didn't explain any example that we could use to understand the context at which she's talking about. She's just assuming that everybody thinks of her this way. I think it's an assumption. Like, this is not a common thing. People on a physical characteristic basis will think, hey, you know, like, yeah, this person's fat. But unless you're talking about it all the time, people tend to usually ignore it unless it has something to do with you being fat. Like going clothing shopping or something like that. Like you have to do plus size clothing or something. People almost always, first and foremost, think about you for your main personality traits, or they'll think about you for things that you've done, or whatever. I don't know, maybe like a financial status or something. But at the end of the day, it just sounds like this person's super insecure. And also, it sounds like if people are thinking about you as the fat friend, the likelihood is that you're talking about the fact that you're fat, like you are right now in these TikToks, this cringe compilation. This girl's probably on like Fat Talk or whatever, or Fat TikTok or Fat Acceptance TikTok, and if this is a common form of content for her, or she talks commonly about, you know, being fat to her family and friends, that is what people will associate her as. At that point, it's not just a physical characteristic, it's a personality trait. It's literally something they talk about. People will think about what you say. Me presenting chubby Y/N. I don't remember what Y/N in the fan fiction world is.
Now, Brad and Janet, what do you think of him?
They look kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. It's very plain. It's like you just, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not one for like the best art. Although, maybe we should do a bedroom tour because I just put a ton of art all over my walls and it's very fun. But when I look at this, it's like all the same kind of color combination for stylistic purposes. It's literally like no hair, the most plain features in the face, you know, some jeans, sweater. Like, it's just what it is. Like, in my personal opinion, it's not bad or anything, but there's nothing that really captures or makes this pop. Like, there's nothing that somebody's gonna look at and go like, oh my god. Personally, I don't even care if this is like a plus size or a fat character sprite. I just don't think that it's very popping.
Well...
Hater, reports video, but I'm not fat. Why did you make them fat? Can you do a normal version? Is this somebody that we know of? Is this like a real person? Because that's weird. This is just weird shit. Artists online, though, are notoriously weird.
I don't like men with too many muscles.
Another thing that I agree with, though, is if somebody's going to judge you for what you draw, fuck them and draw what you want, as long as it's not too particularly indecent or illegal. Like, you know what? I've drawn some really weird shit in my life. I've drawn some really weird shit. Nothing particularly NSFW, but definitely odd to say the least.
I didn't make...
And your rebuttal is, stop being entitled and be supportive of inclusive content, you ass baby. Ass baby? I don't know. No, that's a terrible response. I'm calling it out. That's a terrible response. Like, at the end of the day, people will hate you no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what you draw. People just don't like certain things, and also, some people like to judge certain things. Let them judge. Ignore them. That's the best thing. Don't make an entire video commentating on hate comments. It's a bad idea. Why give more power or focus to something that you don't give a shit about? Oh wait, this is you giving a shit. It's you giving a shit that people don't like the content you produce. Just get over it. Like, I have no mercy or sympathy for individuals that go online, post shit, and then they complain that they've got haters. Everybody with a following of any kind has haters. Here's a great example. My channel. I'm not a very big channel. I'm pretty tiny. I'm not super popular. And my audience, like you guys that are watching right now, most of you guys are hilarious and or give really cool constructive commentary and also say that you enjoy the videos. I seldom get hate comments, which I think are just people giving their opinions and they should have the right to. I don't understand why you should call them hate comments, but even I get some hate comments, and I'm adding quotes to hate comments because I think that the concept of calling something a hate comment just on the mere basis of them disagreeing with you is stupid. The concept of a hater is stupid. Most people don't give a shit about you. You are not worthy of being hated in most cases. Most people just either want to disagree with you or they just don't give a fuck. Like, at the end of the day, especially on the internet, you're just a pawn online. You're there for like a split second, and then you're gone, and nobody else bats an eye, unless you've done something notoriously bad. So I just don't think you should apply any focus to things like mean comments or whatever.
Hello, doctor. I'm a fat woman and need some care. Okay, and why are you here today? Well, doctor, as you can see, my arm is broken, and also I'm currently on fire. She doesn't know I know this hack. Oh, okay, yes. Have you tried losing weight?
If you present to the doctor's office with literal physical trauma, they will treat you. It is not this deep. I get it's supposed to be a satirical play on the fact that doctors don't take fat people seriously, but when it comes to physical trauma, literal physical injury, you having broken limbs, you know, most of the time they're gonna notice, especially if you've got something hanging out of a socket or some kind of break or something. Now, I think it's silly. I really don't agree a lot of the time with the whole, like, fat people doctor's office thing. But then, I come from Canada, where the medical system is notoriously bad, and no matter what weight you are, you're fucked. So at the same time, I actually do kind of agree. It just depends, you know? But, I don't know. That's the video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think of all these videos? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you an upside down triangle? Or are you just fat? I don't know. I don't really give a shit. And anyways, that's the video. Tell me what you think, my people, and I will see you all next time. It has been lovely. Slater.